ready to rock today, Fire Nation. JLD here, and welcome to Entrepreneurs on Fire, brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network with great shows like CEO School. Today, we'll be breaking down a step-by-step process, how to create a time and financial freedom creating business now. To drop these value bombs, I have brought Clayton Thomas Clark into EO Fire Studios. We are joined today by a frequent EO Fire guest, former United States Small Business Administration Entrepreneur of the Year Award winner, author, a master of scale and business growth coach, Clay Clark, and a longtime Clay Clark client and success story by the name of Ryan Wells of Flow Photography. And today, Fire Nation, will talk about the 8 steps that Clay takes people through to increase the size of your business by 5x. We'll talk about what to do when you have a coach and you have a plan. We'll talk about what that next step is and so much more, Fire Nation, when we get back from thanking our sponsors. In 2021, entrepreneurs with a community generated 45% more sales than those without. Learn how to build your own thriving community that will transform how you sell for free. Enroll today at thinkific.com/EOF-access. Discover the secrets and strategies to turn your content into profit with hosts Luis and Fonzie Camejo as they discuss topics like the how to be nice principle that's costing you a fortune. Listen to Content is Profit wherever you get your podcasts. Clay, say what's up to Fire Nation and share something that you believe about becoming successful that most people disagree with.
Fire Nation, what's up? Hey, my name's Clay Clark, and one thing I believe that most people don't believe is I believe that achieving financial success in the world of business is very easy to do in a capitalistic society. I think it's very easy to do, and it's not complicated.
Well, Fire Nation, we're going to be talking step by step today on how to create a time and financial freedom creating business now, not tomorrow, but now. And per usual, if you've listened to some of these past episodes, Clay always brings on one of his clients and we get to talk through the kind of changes, the kind of improvements, the kind of adjustments and pivots and just awesomeness that Clay's helped his clients create over time. And today we have Ryan, and I want to talk to Ryan first. So Ryan, we will start with you today. How did you first hear about Clay Clark and his business growth coaching?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on this episode. I had a couple of friends in Oklahoma City, where I'm from, that had seen some real significant success in their business. And I got super curious because I saw them buying new things, houses, cars, all these things. And even one of them sending me pictures of these large checks that he was getting from his customers. And so I said, hey, what are you guys doing? What's happening here? And they said, well, there's this conference. You need to go to the Thrivetime conference, and you have to meet this guy named Clay Clark. And so I got online and did a little bit of research, right, and decided, yeah, I think I need to go to this conference. And after going to the 2-day conference, I knew that that Clay had the systems in place that he could coach me and teach me. And I decided, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let's go for it.
Let's go for it. And again, Fire Nation, as I mentioned in the introduction, Ryan Wells of Flow Photography. So you already kind of mentioned where you're from. Maybe go into a little more detail about that. But tell us a little bit about your business as well so we can get a sense of what it is that you do.
Yeah. So a few years ago, we started a company called Flow Real Estate Photography. And from the name, you can tell we take pictures of houses for sale. So, it doesn't matter really what city that you're living in. You see these real estate signs all over the place. And people aren't just driving by looking at houses anymore. Most searches happen online. And so we provide the photos that go online that helps realtors and home builders sell houses.
Fire Nation, you can tell that Ryan is not a rookie when it comes to explaining what he does and who he serves. And I think some of that probably has to do with the value and the coaching that Clay's been providing with him over time. So I kind of want to move on to you for a second here, Clay, because you've taken Ryan through 8 steps that resulted in increasing the size of his business, not 1x, not 2x, not 4x. We're talking 5 flippin' X, Fire Nation. Clay, what the heck are those steps?
Well, again, going back to my initial controversial statement, I believe that growing a business is very successful, or building a very successful business is very easy. It's very easy to grow a successful business as long as you're following a proven plan and you adhere to a step-by-step system. And so with Ryan, with any client I work with, okay, I do a 4-point assessment. It's called a 13-point assessment, but I'm just telling you the big four things I look for that are like a no-go zone. So if you're listening out here today, I will not take on a client if you don't meet the following 4 criteria. It's called a 13-point assessment. I do, but I'm looking for these 4 criteria. One, I'm looking for, does the client actually solve a problem that people on the planet Earth want to have solved? I mean, real estate agents everywhere are looking for photography, videography, drone, 3D tours. And so yes. Second is the client able to actually solve the problem? You know, they're not just pointing out a problem. Can they solve it? And Ryan had already provided world-class photography, videography, 3D tour before I met him. The third is it scalable? Because if it's not scalable, I mean, if someone reached out to me and they say, you know, I am a butter sculptor. That's what I do. I sculpt things out of butter. It's amazing. It just requires thousands of dollars of butter, and it requires a large fridge, and I'm the only one who can do it. I would say that's probably not a business, but that's exciting. It's a hobby. And then the final thing is the financial aspect of the business. Is the business financially viable? And so Ryan checked all those boxes, and I thought, okay, let's do it. So we start with step 1. So step 1 is Ryan scheduled a 13-point assessment, which requires me to be, or the client, if you're listening out there today, it requires you being stuck on the phone with me for about 30 minutes to an hour, where I hit you with a barrage of questions. And most of the people that do a 13-point assessment tell me that particular 13-point assessment is actually life-changing in and of itself. Because I'll ask questions like, you know, do you have a call script in place when the phone rings? Is there a system for that? Do you have a script in place for gathering objective reviews after the service is provided? Do you have your key performance indicators? Do you have, and a lot of people just, I no. So it started with that initial 13-point assessment. And what we do, JLD, is after we determine all these problems, I mean, we leave the meeting with, I would say, you know, 100, it's on average 20-something pages of action steps. We have to turn that goal into a deadline. So Napoleon Hill once said, a goal is a dream with a deadline, Napoleon Hill. I named my son after Napoleon Hill, the best-selling author of Think and Grow Rich, because it made such a mark on my life. So I tell the client, and this is all part of the assessment, I say, if we work together, it's month to month, okay? It's $1,700 a month. So it's month to month. But I don't want to waste your time or my time. But this is what we have to do. Are we committed to doing it? And Ryan, step 1, he said, yeah, I am committed to doing it. So that's my first step, is we do that 13-point assessment to see if somebody is, in fact, a potentially a scalable business. So if you're out there today and you carve sculptures out of butter, I respect the game, but I can't help you.
Now, one thing that I've always admired about you is you actually limit the amount of clients you work with to 160. Why do you keep it at 160?
Well, it's really interesting, but I have a house. It's a great house. And by the way, I saw one of our listeners sent me a YouTube video of your home in Puerto Rico. I'm not sure how current that video is, but you know, you live in a beautiful home. I live in a beautiful home. You're committed to one woman. I'm committed to one woman. And you kind of look at your life and you go, you know, if life is about accumulating stuff that I don't need to impress people I don't know if that's the life I want to live. I don't know if I want to buy things that I don't need to impress people I don't know. So when you have your house paid off, right, and you have all the things you need, what more do you need to succeed? And I determined I have 5 kids, and I should probably know who they are. So last night in my living room, I was talking to my daughter about the book of Revelation. You know, we were talking about Revelation chapter 6. We had a great conversation about that. We had a great conversation about the book of Daniel last night. We had a great conversation about Matthew. She's 18 years old, and my son is 16 years old. We had a great conversation about his landscaping business. I don't think my son recognized that it gets to be 105 degrees in Oklahoma every day during the month of July. And so he has this landscaping business with 15 clients. And he's like, Dad, I don't think I want any more than 15 clients. And so, you know, I just know with 160 clients, JLD, I can be responsive. Ryan can call me, text me. If he has a question, I'm available for him. But when we get beyond 160 clients, although we have multiple coaches that work with the client, I can't be responsive beyond that. And I never want to be a business where you have to call the 1-800 number and press 7 to be connected to a member of our team. I never want to be that guy. I want to be the guy where you text me and I call you back.
So Clay, I want to put you on the spot here for a second. I think you're pretty good at this kind of stuff, but you know, you've done a lot for Ryan's business. I mean, you've increased it by 5x. What's one thing that you did that we can get specific about that you're just really like, that was cool. Like we did this one thing and it really just made an impact.
And Ryan can attack me and say, you're 100% wrong, buddy. But I feel like on a scale of 1 to 10, if 10 is a highly optimized website that was booming with traffic, if a 10 is like you're getting web leads all day and a 0 is like no web leads, I feel like you were in the 1 or 2 range.
Correct.
I think you had almost 0 leads or very few leads. And I feel like this week, how many web leads did you get this week? Do you think?
21.
21. So he went from 0 inbound leads to 21. So, and then the second thing is his business was successful because he and his wife put in a lot of work, and it was successful. Check this out. Someone should write this down and put it on a t-shirt. His business was successful because his life was stressful. Someone should write that down. His business was successful because his life was stressful. Meaning he worked all the time. And this guy worked. I mean, this guy was working. This guy would make, John Madden, early John Madden coaching. And he would rival that sort of intensity and focus. He had the work ethic of a young Donald J. Trump. He had the work ethic of a Gary Vaynerchuk, of a startup JLD. I mean, he was just working that thing, But I'm going, hey, we need to scale it. And so we had to create a turnkey marketing system so that the phone rings even if he's not out there doing things. So we built a search. So we did 3 things. We built a search engine optimization system that's bar none the best in the business. So it's a turnkey system. And how many hours a week do you spend on optimizing your website now?
0.
We do it all for them. That's part of the service. 2 is we had to create a no-brainer offer, an offer that's so hot that anybody listening, even if you have SPF 5000 sunblock on, it's so hot you cannot reject the offer. And so the offer for anybody who goes to flowphotos.com, for any realtors out there that use your service, well, how much does it cost for the first service?
$1 for your first photo shoot.
$1. And that deal is so hot. JLD, a lot of times people from your show schedule a 13-point assessment with me. They say, they say to my callers, my call screeners, they say, so what's the catch? I mean, it's a free consultation. Right. How does this guy make any money? And Sarah or a member of my team will say, well, we don't make any money unless you're a good fit. And if you are a good fit, our average client sticks around for almost a decade. So it could be an epic waste of your time or a waste of our time, but we don't want to waste your time or our time. Do you actually want to grow your business? And if somebody does, so again, you want to make a no-brainer offer that's hot. And then the third is the branding. I feel like the branding, if you go to flowphotos.com, and one of the clients that he was referencing that we've been able to help grow quite a bit, who's also been on the show, is Randy Antrican. He goes to church with Ryan. His website is pmhokc.com. So anybody out there, you can use your own judgment, but go to pmhokc.com, go to flowphotos.com, and even go to oxyfresh.com, oxifresh.com. Those are just 3 clients I'm referencing right now. Oxyfresh.com, we've helped them to grow into one of the largest carpet cleaning franchises in America. Then you have pmhokc.com. We've helped him to grow from 1 location to 4. And then you have Flow Photos. And when you have that turnkey marketing system and that great branding and that great no-brainer, your phone just rings all day. And then he could be on great shows like your show, as opposed to having to go out there and, the networking, all the endless networking at real estate events and passing out business cards at Chamber of Commerce networking breakfasts, the whole real estate game.
Yeah, I've done those all.
Oh yeah, so we got him out of that networking. We got him into a place where he was building a turnkey business.
And I'm actually on the site right now, and right in the top right-hand corner, schedule your first shoot for $1. Book now. It could not be more irresistible. There's a nice, big red arrow that says, let's basically press play on this video, and then of course it's going to pop up and Ryan's going to give an amazing spiel that I'm sure was helped by Clay, and it's home of Oklahoma's highest rated and most reviewed real estate photography company. And that's what you do, Clay. I've noticed time and time again is that you take any company that's in a specific niche and you immediately get them to the highest rated, most rated, best ranked, because it's such low-hanging fruit, because Fire Nation, your competition's not doing it. And we have so much more to talk about when we get back from thanking our sponsors. What's something that every business owner needs to grow and scale, but not a lot have? Funding. If you're looking to fund your business with 0% interest, then Lending America can help. Lending America is one of the leading U.S. funding companies, having secured over $1 billion for clients at 0% in 2019. And Lending America doesn't just help you get 0% loans, they can also help you with paying down high interest rate credit cards and restructure the debt at 0% for 12 to 18 months. So whether you're looking to fund your business or pay down high interest rate credit cards to give yourself some breathing room as you grow, Lending America can help. At Lending America, every customer receives a free underwriting consultation to go over their credit report. Then, if approved, you'll also get to work with an underwriter who will show you how to get things done with the least amount of time and money wasted. Build and fund your dream business, all at 0% interest with Lending America. Visit eofire.com/lending for more details and for service disclaimers. Here at EOFire, community has always come first. You know this, Fire Nation, but did you know entrepreneurs who focus on growing their community generate 235% more revenue in their first 90 days of business? Building a community requires a lot of effort, but there is a powerful tipping point where your community starts to fuel a network effect where your followers drive connection, conversation, and engagement for you. As an entrepreneur looking for the latest strategies in 2022 to grow your business, building an engaged community shouldn't even be a question. And lucky for you, the team at Thinkific have created a completely free course that will take you on the fast lane to creating your own thriving community. In this brand new course, you'll learn the A to Z steps for starting, launching, and growing a thriving community, what tools and tech you should use to build and run your community, 20 proven tactics that will get your community to drive itself. If you are committed to building a thriving community this year that will 2x your revenue, visit thinkific.com/EOF-access. That's THINKIFIC.com/EOF-access. HubSpot is a CRM platform that lets you spend less time managing software and more time serving your customers. That means turning customer data into actual insights you can leverage for marketing campaigns and more. And they do it by eliminating friction so your team is empowered to do their best work. HubSpot is here to make your work life easier with things like their Sales Hub. HubSpot's sales software ties all your data and tools together in one intuitive, easy-to-use platform so you can close more deals without more tools. And their Marketing Hub lets you build your entire marketing funnel while keeping your sales team in the loop every step of the way. And we can't forget their Service Hub. Delight your customers without overwhelming your team. HubSpot's customer service software brings all your data and support channels together in one place so your team can spend less time hunting for information and more time helping customers succeed. Learn how HubSpot can make it easier for your business to grow better at HubSpot.com. Okay, Ryan, you've been patient. I want to get back to you because Clay's coaching business program, it's month to month, meaning you are on a month-to-month plan. You're not locked in for 6 months, not for a year, month-to-month. And it also includes a team of photographers, videographers, web developers, search engine optimizers, workflow mappers, and more. Was that important to you? And if so, why?
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of those things I was trying to do on my own. Clay mentioned earlier, that I was working my tail off, and my wife and I, we both own the business together. We work together in this business, and it seemed like we would spend all day working, doing these things, trying to create a little bit of marketing here and there. Number one, it wasn't super effective because we didn't really know what we were doing, and then number two, it took a lot of our time. So when I found out that all of these things were included in that monthly fee, it was a no-brainer for us.
No flipping brainer. And Clay mentioned this earlier before the break, but at $1,700 per month, Ryan, Clay's program is actually 3 times less than many effective other business coaching programs. But let's be honest, $1,700, I mean, that's not a small dollar amount. That's not something to sniff at. So how would you describe your experience with Clay and his team thus far?
Yeah, it's been incredible, really. So from the get-go, with the list of action items that Clay gave me after doing the assessment, it gave me a goal that I could work toward really every single day, from writing search engine content for the website on the main pages to getting our tracking of our numbers and everything like that together. It made us finally feel like a business, if that makes sense. We were just sort of out taking pictures of houses, and that's really all we were doing. We didn't see the potential, but with his systems in place, it really started to feel like, hey, this is something that can be very successful if we just put our shoulder to the wheel. And so that's what we did. It's helped in other areas of my life, especially. It's funny, whenever you start to tidy up things like your business, how that bleeds over into your personal life. For me personally, I've lost 90 pounds since working with Clay. So he could be a weight loss coach, right?
Well, but, you have a lot more time to focus on things that matter.
Yeah, definitely. And even in our spiritual life, been able to meet goals of reading the Bible every day and things like that are important to us, but things that have been put on the back burner before because we were so stressed out trying to run our business.
That's fantastic stuff. And I mean, Fire Nation, I am actually on video with this whole crew right now. So I can tell you that Clay does not have a gun to Ryan's head right now. This is just Ryan speaking the truth. He's being genuine. He's being honest. I know you guys are listening audio only right now, Fire Nation, but listen, this is real results from real people. You've heard it before. You will hear it again. Clay, you recommend putting on blinders and just focusing on implementation after, and this is a key word, after you find your coach and have a proven plan. Tell us why.
Well, what happens is you can get distracted by things that don't matter. So I'm going to give people an example today, okay? So if you go to thrivetimeshow.com and you read the reviews about me, I want everyone just to go right now, type in Thrivetime Show, Jenks, that's the city I'm in, Jenks. You can see my Google map. And I have thousands of very, very happy conference attendees. I mean, just thousands. And better yet, if you go to thrivetimeshow.com /EOFire, thrivetimeshow.com /EOFire, you can see literally over 2,000 video testimonials from people that have attended our conferences. And I know that number because we actually number each review we get. So I know we're over 2,000 video reviews. And so what am I doing? What I'm doing is a system that works. However, there is always somebody that's not happy, which is why my program is month to month. So let me just give an example. Recently, we had a conference attendee that came to the conference, and it was raining. Now, Ryan, it rains in Oklahoma. You know this. We have thunder.
Yep.
And this wonderful listener, I'm sure she wasn't your listener, but she's from Southern California, and she's never been to Oklahoma. And in Oklahoma, true story, when it thunders, it's boom. That's why our basketball team is called the Thunder. So this woman is looking at me, JLD. She looks like she's trying to defuse a bomb during the conference. She looks like MacGyver trying to cut the right wire. I mean, this lady looks like she's going to cry. And I pulled her aside because we do a 45 at our workshops. We do a 45-minute intensive training and then a 15-minute break for questions. So I talked to her and she says, I didn't know it was going to rain so much. It's just scary. And I'm like, are you really scared? She goes, it's Tornado Alley. And I'm like, I've lived in Oklahoma for a long time and I've never been abducted by a tornado, nor do I know anybody who has. And I've never seen a tornado hit my town or any town near me. But I mean, she was upset that we didn't warn her about the thunderstorms. And we are in a massive building. You know, it gets loud in here if it rains. Anyway, long story short, we gave her money back, tried to make her happy. But beyond that, I would spend my whole day on that distraction if I wasn't focused on the actions I had to take. So the action I had to take was I had to make sure that all 150 other attendees were happy, were empowered, were educated, were ready to go. There was a good energy there. And people sitting by her were like, what's going on with her? Is she okay? And maybe she had some trauma. I don't know. But the point is, if you're not careful, you spend your whole day focusing on the one person who's upset about the weather and getting distracted from the main thing. Or another example is we have a haircut chain called Elephant in the Room, and we cut hair for men. And there's occasionally a woman that comes in that wants her haircut. And I'm not going to argue with you if you were a woman and you wanted to get a haircut at a men's place. But you could spend your whole day arguing about that. There's just things we could spend our day arguing on, but we need to focus on gaining ground. And so what I encourage everyone to do today is you want to write down these things called key performance indicators, KPIs. And a key performance indicator is the number that you need to hit on a daily basis. So out there, if you're out there today and you're saying, I want to own my own business, I want to open my own company. If you were to license a flow photography, which is what Ryan's to a point now where his business is so successful, he's licensing other locations. And so if you're out there today and you've got $10,000 or less, that's all he's charging to open up. That includes all the equipment and everything. But if you open your own flow photography, we have a couple in Kansas City opening their own flow. And they said, what do we need to do on a daily basis to be successful? And I told them, you need to get gather objective reviews from actual real estate clients every day. Get one objective review from an actual happy client every day. 2, you need to go talk to a realtor every day, at least 5 realtors a day, and tell them that you would love to do their photo shoot, their first shoot for $1. So what do I have to do? Make the pitch for the $1 first shoot every day to 5 people and gather 1 Google review a day. What else do I do? Well, in the event that you get those 2 things done, 3rd, you want to gather an objective review. So those are proactive activities. You want to gather 1 video review, 1 Google review, and 5 $1 first-time shoots. That's all you have to do as it relates to marketing. That's a key performance indicator. Now, the next thing that you have to do if you open up a flow is you have to do a weekly interview where you interview potential candidates because you need a flow, an influx of new potential talent because you're always training and equipping your new employees. Because Brian's built a system where you can teach someone who has no knowledge of photography how to be an outstanding member of your team in 15 hours or less. But that doesn't work if you don't have a new pipeline of talent. So again, you define your key performance indicators, and once you have that written down, then you have to decide what you're not going to do. So today, I'm just going to pull out my phone, and I'm going to show this to Ryan. Ryan, right here, you're looking at my phone. How many missed text messages do I have today on my phone?
4,630.
How many missed calls?
161.
Right. And I don't feel bad about that. Okay. And when you have a podcast, in our case, that's hit number 1 on iTunes 6 different times. And when you have occasionally my shows will go viral just like yours. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You just can't respond to everybody. And so, my wife can reach me, but that's about it, and my clients. And so again, but if you're not careful about defining what matters, I could spend my whole day today, JLD, and I'm just going to read 2 of them before we go to the next part here. I have a text message from someone right now. I haven't read it. And they said, hey, could we call? I just finished talking to Sarah. A lady from Iowa says, call me when you get a minute. I don't know who this is. A man who defines himself as a chaplain. He says, I loved your recent show. Can we talk? Another guy says, hey, could we call any? I mean, it's endless. And I couldn't do this show if I was looking at my phone all the time. So you've got to say no to this, to the distractions, and say yes to the actions that matter.
Clay, something that I hear you say often is that we must surround ourselves with a competent team if we want to fulfill the dream. Expound upon that.
Well, today, when Ryan was walking into my office, you commented, you say, well, you have a full parking lot today. All my employees are here right now because we work from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. up in my office. We have a whole team that helps our clients. And one of our graphic designers, this poor guy, all day today, I keep having him render different versions of a T-shirt I want to sell at one of the upcoming conferences. And I'm on idea right now, JLD, I think 10. And I can't stop until I get goosebumps. I'm not kidding. This is my process. I cannot stop until I get goosebumps. And once I get goosebumps, I go, oh, that's good. And so it's a weird process, but I'm not the one rendering it. So this poor man has spent his entire day doing incredible graphic design pieces that I reject, not because they're bad designs, but because I don't like the way it looks when it's done. But if you don't have a team to help you, you would spend your whole day. So instead of being on the show with you and adding value to your listeners, I would be spending my day making different edits to a T-shirt. So you've got to surround yourself with a team. And I believe that everybody listening right now today, you need the following 6 skill sets in your life. And some could argue maybe you need 7 or 8, but these are the 6 you need. You got to have a great photographer in your life. If you're out there today and you're running your company, you need a great photography and videography. That's step 1. Photography, video, you got to have it. 2, you've got to have someone on your team that can sell something. Somebody on your team has to sell something to somebody. I mean, you can't have a sales-averse culture. 3, someone's got to do accounting. I mean, somebody has to make sure you're complying with the IRS, paying your bills, whatever, staying on top of your taxes. 4, you've got to have a legal mind. You got to have a legal lawyer to help you navigate the tricky waters of entrepreneurship. 5, you've got to have a realtor in your life. A pro tip to make a lot of money is buy real estate from very emotional people that need to sell it now. Buy real estate, unemotionally buy real estate from people that emotionally need to sell it now. Buy a good deal, buy low, sell high. That's just in. Have a real estate expert. And then the next is you want to have a mentor in your life. And whether that's our program through our workshops or the one-on-one coaching, which you can find at thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire, thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire. Whether it's through our mentorship or through a show like yours, JLD, you do become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and you've got to invest your time with people that will lift you up, coach you up, mentor you up. You do not want to be surrounded by people that do not know what they're talking about. And let me give you a stat here. In America today, there's 330 million Americans roughly. There's approximately 28 million people that identify as being self-employed. And according to Inc. magazine, someone should look this up, fact check this, look this up, 96% of businesses fail. So that means that out of 330 million Americans, you have like 1 out of 305 people-ish that will have a successful business. And it's not because there's not opportunity. It's because usually people are spending their time going passionately the wrong direction. So I encourage everybody out there, find a mentor in your life today that knows the way, someone who's paid the cost to be the boss, someone who knows what they're talking about, who can lead you down a proven path.
Ryan, I'm going to have Clay take us home in a second. But before we do, I want you to take a step back here and just share one key takeaway from everything you heard from Clay today, from everything you've learned from Clay over time. What do you think is the most relevant and important takeaway from our conversation, from your learnings from Clay, that you really want to make sure Fire Nation gets?
That's easy. It's the idea of nail it, then scale it. Look, most entrepreneurs, most people that own a business, they don't really have a system. They have a skill, right? They've learned to maybe solve a problem and they get really good at it, like maybe like an artist. But once you put together a system where things just become easier, then you can scale it. That just as we've done. You know, we were taking pictures of houses in Oklahoma City and things were going great. Clay helped us put together a system where we were able to then expand to Tulsa, Oklahoma, expand to Des Moines, Iowa. Now we're looking at Kansas City and then South Carolina coming up real soon. We have systems in place now that are scalable to work all across the nation.
Clay, take us home, brother. Ryan just dropped so many value bombs. I want you to share with Fire Nation the key takeaway, and then, of course, how do we connect with you and get that 13-point assessment?
Well, let's say this. If you're out there listening today, I would ask you, what is the point of a business? The point of a business is to create both time and financial freedom so you can do that which you believe God has called you to do. I repeat, the purpose of building a business is so that you can have the time and financial freedom needed to do that which you feel like God has called you to do. And I've never done this on one of your shows before, but I feel called sometimes to write rap songs, JLD, that most people don't listen to. So why spend an entire afternoon pondering what rhymes with oranges? And I'm just going to play for you. This is what you can do if you have the time freedom to do it. Here we go. Get ready.
2,
You're going to love this or hate it.
Boom. You are now entering the dojo of
Get ready for it, JLD. This is going to improve your life.
Thrivetime show.
Or make it worse.
Thrivetime show on the microphone. What is this? Top of the iTunes charts in the category of business. Drilling down on business topics like we are a dentist. Providing you with mentorship like you are an apprentice. And we go so fast that you might get motion sickness. Grab a pen and pad to the lab. Let's get in this. It's time to bear some fruit like some Florida oranges. 3, 2, 1. Here come the business ninjas.
Now, if you have all day to do that, JLD, if you have all day to the time freedom, you can sit there in your man cave all day and ponder what rhymes with oranges.
Did you say ninjas? Was that the word?
Yeah. On the microphone, what is this? Top of the, so anyway, I think it's really, but other people, they just, because you don't have the time freedom to do that, And my wife is like, what are you doing down there? And I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what rhymes with oranges. And she's like, why? And I'm like, I just feel called to do it today. And it's interesting. We've had so many clients over the years who are like, that song where you rhymed with oranges really did something to me. And I'm like, well, I thought about it all day, So again, the line is grab a pen and a pad to the lab and get in this. It's time to bear some fruit like some Florida oranges. 3, 2, 1. Here come the business ninjas. So anyway, if you want to just get a bunch of free stuff today and improve your life, go to thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire. Thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire. You can schedule your one-on-one consultation, and I would love to help you. We also have conferences you can come to. You're going to have a blasty blast. Schedule your 13-point assessment at thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire. Second, if you want to open up your own business and license a flow photography, you want to have a turnkey business system that works for you, you can learn more at flowphotos.com. And 3, if you want to sign my petition, I'm trying to get JLD to attend a Thrivetime Show workshop. Just email him somehow and say, please attend a Thrivetime Show workshop. And because JLD has standards, he might not make it to a Thrivetime Show workshop. But one of these days, that's my new goal for the year, is to get JLD to a Thrivetime Show business workshop. JLD, thank you so much for putting up with me.
It was amazing. And I will say, if it's a Clay goal, then obviously we all know it's going to happen. So that's just a done reality. Because you, Fire Nation, are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You've been hanging out with CTC, JLD, and R Dubs today. So keep up the heat. Head over to eofire.com, type Clay in the search bar. The show notes page will pop up with everything we talked about here today. And of course, go to that URL that Clay mentioned multiple times, because your 13-point assessment waits. It's free, and the thing alone will be unbelievably valuable for you. Your head will pop off. Clay, Ryan, thank you for sharing your truth, your knowledge, your value with Fire Nation today. For that, we salute you both, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Boom.
Hey, Fire Nation. Today's Value Bomb content was brought to you by Clay. And Fire Nation, successful entrepreneurs accomplish big goals. That's why I created the Freedom Journal, to guide you in accomplishing your number one goal in 100 days. And we're talking step by step. Visit thefreedomjournal.com, and I'll catch you there, or I'll catch you on the flip side.
Hey, Clay Clark and my Thrive peeps. It's Steve Currington, as you can tell. Although I'm not wearing my signature green shirt as usual, but I am riding in my signature green Lamborghini, And I just wanted to say how appreciative I am of Thrive and all the guys at Thrivetime and the show and everything that you guys have done. At Total Ending Concepts, we have had tremendous growth and a lot of things changing, especially on the marketing front. And from a coaching perspective and from a web presence and branding, and our internet leads are up. Everything is hammering on all cylinders, and really we're just trying to figure out how we can leverage the systems and the processes that we're learning at Thrive more in our business. So now we're setting up a lead tracking system that has been long overdue, and we're doing lots of stuff. But I wanted to take a minute and say thank you to Thrive and Clay Clark and Dr. Z and everybody for all the help in helping us grow our business and hopefully buy more Lamborghinis like this the more we sell. So appreciate it, guys. See ya.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And I mean, we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us, and it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builder shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing. And Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because the results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you, if you're thinking about working with Clay, I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with Clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads. Going from 10 a month to 180 a month, that would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it, because we sure haven't.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people, I love working with people, I love the building relationships, but one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things. The processes and the advertising and marketing. I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due. And Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
The Thrivetime Show, 2-day interactive business workshops, are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you...
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah. So here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months. Or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with. So.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. They taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed.